I can't believe that I've been on a debt-free journey now for 2 years, 24 months. And today I'm going to go through exactly where I'm at with my debt snowball and show you my net worth. Before we dive into it, if you are new to the channel, my name is Brad. I make videos with tips and motivation on how to get out of debt, stay positive, invest for retirement, all in the hopes of reaching financial independence. The debt snowball update has been the backbone of my channel now for 2 years. Coming onto YouTube was a way to hold myself accountable and also give me the opportunity to look back when I was in times of struggle. I can't believe how my mindset has changed over the last 2 years and how actually getting out of debt has changed my life in all the ways that people told me it would. And that's a real message that I have for people that are starting their debt-free journey or just starting to tackle their debt. It is as good as everybody says it is when you start to knock off debts. And it doesn't matter if you use the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. It matters what you are going to do to get out of debt. That's the only thing that matters. For me personally, I only chose the debt snowball because I like the psychological aspect. I like to check off boxes. I like to eliminate debt. That was what worked best for me. Some people want to use the debt avalanche and use their highest interest first. That's totally fine. Both of them are win-win situations. In both scenarios, you're paying off debt. And it's kind of crazy to think that I have maybe 1 or 2 debt snowball videos left, and then I am going to be debt-free. Let's take a look first at my debt snowball and where it has come. So here it is, the debt snowball. It is pretty much the same exact spreadsheet that I have been using now for 2 whole years. If you ever want help making this spreadsheet, I can send you the template. Just let me know in the comments below. Give me an email, a DM. Like I said, I would love to share this template for you because it really has been a monumental tool to helping me get out of debt. It is my monthly accountability tracker as well as motivator, because when I get to write paid off next to one of those debts, I remember each one of these debts like they only happened yesterday. And I remember how amazing it felt to cross them off my list. I started with $189,000 worth of consumer debt, not including my mortgage. And at the time of starting my debt snowball, the first payment that I would have got to pay off was 5 years away. And my last was 13 years. So by becoming debt-free in a little over 2 years, I've knocked 11 years of interest payments out of my life, and I've eliminated $189,000 worth of debt. When we started, Tara and I both had a credit card that we were paying off every month, but just to change the mindset, we cut those credit cards up and we got rid of the balances and we did not use them while we were getting out of debt. A month later, because we had cash in the bank, we got rid of Tara's undergraduate loan and then worked towards my undergraduate loans. The big one was a little under a year ago when we paid off my Toyota Tacoma. What an amazing day. It was one of those things where I almost considered selling my truck, but then I listened to podcasts and financial advisors and people like Dave Ramsey and told me, if you could pay your truck off in a year, then you could keep it. And that was really the goal. If I could pay it off in a year, then I would keep it. And I pretty much did. So right now I have my Toyota Tacoma. It adds value to my net worth, as you'll see in 1 second. But man, that was better than paying off the student loan, because when I paid that off, I get to enjoy it every single day. Even almost a year later, every single time I get in my car, I realize that I own that thing outright. It is the most amazing, incredible feeling when people tell me what a nice car I have, and then they ask me what the payment is, and I get to say, oh, it's $0. There's no payment. And the look of shock, thinking to themselves, did this guy win the lottery? Like, how is he driving around this nice truck? $0 payment. It's incredible to say. If you're paying off your car, look forward to that. Telling people that your car payment, oh, this car right here, yeah, no, it's a simple $0 payment. Next, at the end of March, we paid off my last student loan, which made me personally debt-free, but the Fin mindset, we are a team, Tara and I, so her debt is my debt. So we have one more, Tara's graduate loans, at just under $25,000. And if you've been around the channel long enough, you know, and you've heard me speak about, I'm having a son this week, and we are holding money heavy in cash right now to make sure everything goes smoothly in case of emergency. And then after everything goes wonderful and we get my son home, October 1st, we might be able to get rid of it. I'm going to show you exactly how much liquid cash I have right now when we get to my net worth. So 24 months, $165,000 paid off. I could not be prouder, and it did not come easy. There were ups, there were downs. And if you're starting your journey, or even if you're just a year in, my mindset, even a year ago, was completely different. And time is going to go on. You are going to get older. So you might as well get older and have no debt. Don't think about how long it's going to take you. I know that can be discouraging, but just know you're going to get there. So get there debt free. My minimums are $35.50 every single month. But as you can see, if you did some simple back of the envelope math, we always were able to put more money on. We have what Dave Ramsey calls a pretty big shovel. I am very fortunate for that. But we took that big shovel and we always put it towards our debt. Let's look at the second motivator that I used throughout my debt-free journey, and that is my net worth. Finding net worth was just another simple motivating tool for me on top of my debt snowball. And the reason why, it painted a little bit bigger of a picture. My debt snowball in the beginning and just paying off debt, sometimes I felt like I was living a life of deprivation. And I've learned since then that budgeting and getting out of debt is not a life of deprivation. You are creating a path to financial independence and financial freedom. And your net worth really helps to showcase all of that. While your debt snowball is going down, your net worth is growing up. And it was amazing to put extra money on my debt snowball, but even more incredible to see my net worth go up. Those two together really kept me on track over the last 24 months. When calculating my net worth, and this is different for everybody, but what I do is I simply just take all of my assets, I subtract my liabilities, and that is it. I'll get to the bottom of this chart right here with the FI number and the liquid number in just a second, but that's really all I do. And when calculating my assets, I look for things that have value over $5,000. I don't go around my house and take the value of every little thing, but my major items over $5,000, I consider those assets. My major asset is my house, which has an equity at just under $200,000. Even though I do have a mortgage, and I get asked this question all the time. How can it be an asset if you have a mortgage out? Well, the simple reason is because I have more equity in the house than I have liabilities. So therefore, it makes it an asset. And to stay consistent, and you can use this tool to stay consistent as well, I use the value of my house as what it's seen on Zillow. Now, whether that's 100% accurate or not, I don't know, but it's all about consistency, and that's what I've used to value my house since the beginning of finding my net worth. The same thing goes for my truck. I go on Kelley Blue Book, I type in all the details of my car, I look at the average of the private sale in my area for that car, and my 2016 Toyota Tacoma right now is looking at a value at just over $27,000. Next comes all of my retirement accounts, and you see there are a couple here. Tara has two 403Bs. That's because we switched companies and didn't want to pay the fee to move everything in. But currently right now, we're with Vanguard, VTSAX. My 403B is with Voya, but that is going to cease now that I'm going back to school because now I have access to Vanguard as well. So I'm going to be adding a 403B to the list. Something else that will be added next month will be Tara's 457. If you just saw my retirement video, so we just added one of those for her. We have my 457 there as well. And then we have two IRAs that we started last year, both once again, Vanguard VTSAX. If you're not sure what that is, but you've heard of it before, I just did a whole review of what that exactly is. If you're curious about VTX, I'll leave that at the end, either in the comments, the description, or both. You could check that video out. My Robinhood account, which is my brokerage account. Now, this might get me a little bit of question because I just did a video about how I don't believe brokerage accounts are for me. And here I am with a Robinhood account. That Robinhood account is going to be part of my debt payoff. It's part of like my emergency fund right now. It will be sold off, and then I will not have Robinhood probably in like a month and a half or so. My Vanguard brokerage account has VNQ. If you saw the video where I talked with Q Makes It Happens on every penny counts, I took all the change in my house and I bought a couple shares of VNQ, and it's actually up like 21% in the last 2 months. So that's really going awesome. And my Capital One 360 money market account. Once again, if you've been here, you know how strongly I feel about online savings accounts, and whether you're using Ally or Capital One or Wealthfront. It doesn't matter. I personally go with Capital One because of their reputation, because they have storefronts, which makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and because their interest stays pretty consistent. Whereas Ally and Wealthfront, they're kind of like jockeying for position and customer acquisition. So their interest rates are all over the place, where I'm okay with a steady 2%. I'll say it again. If you have money in an emergency fund or you're saving for an investment or something like that, and you have it sitting in a big bank savings account, you got to get out. You got to get into a online high interest account. I personally, like I said, use 360. You don't have to, but look into one of those, please, and get yourself a higher interest rate. And then next is just my big bank. I'm with Chase. I have a checking account with them, and that's pretty much it. It pretty much holds about 1 month's living expenses. For me, my emergency fund is my Roth IRA contributions, so I don't really keep a lot of money in that checking account, just enough to get me through a month. And then petty cash that's sitting around from change or from going out, or if I tutor or whatever, that's really always pretty small, which puts my total assets at $328,000. As I just showed you a minute ago, Tara is my only liability left, with the exception of my mortgage, and that is $24,000. So right now, my current net worth, if I took my assets and my liabilities, I have a net worth of $304,000. That's awesome, especially when I show you in 1 second where I've come from. I could not be happier with that. We see that liquid net worth number, which is literally just under 44,000. What I mean by liquid is money that I could touch in a couple days or so. So what that's going to include is my Roth IRA contributions, my brokerage accounts, Robinhood and Vanguard, my Capital One, and my Chase cash, and my checking account. So that's money that I can go grab. And as you can see, I have $44,000 liquid. I have a net worth of $24,000. So like I said, after my son is born, I can get rid of all of that debt if I want to, so I can consider myself debt-free after my son comes. And what is the FI? What is the Financial Independence Net Worth video? And if you don't know what the FI number is, I also just did a video. Check down in the comments below. I'll leave that there so you could find your own FI number. This is all the things that are working for me. These are all of the accounts and all my investments that are working for me on my path to financial independence. And I heard the first 100K is the hardest, so I'm kind of stoked on that. So that's my 403B, my 457, my brokerage accounts, even my Capital One at 2%. I consider that an asset. It's pretty much everything with the exception of my checking account, which really isn't earning me any money. And like I said, that 304, I am so happy with it. It's gone down from the months previous, but I was out of work. I haven't been paid as a teacher, and that's okay because I look at the big picture and look way at the top. 2 years ago when I started, August 2017, net worth of minus $29,000. For me, that was my aha moment. That was when I was like, I got to take care of this. I got to get rid of it. So from going from minus 29,000 up to 304, even if it's fluctuated a little bit with the markets going down, that's going to happen. The market's kind of on sale right now. I am so excited about the future, especially when I get out of debt, how fast I'm going to be able to grow that net worth to my FI number and then be in a position where I will be financially independent. If you look at that third column, I said that's the month change. I lost a net worth of $5,000 this past month. That's okay. I've learned how to roll with those punches. I can't come on here and only tell you about the good times. Sometimes there's going to be some downturns. That is part of life. And we will see that the longer I continue to track this. The last column all the way to the right is my change over 1 year. So from last August, $254,000 worth of change to my net worth. I mean, that's a great 1 year. I might switch to doing the net worth updates every quarter as opposed to every month. If you want to see them every month and you want me to continue to do them every month, please leave down in the comments, Brad, please keep doing them every month. They're motivating me. If I'm motivating you by doing them every month, I'll continue to do so. But if I don't hear from you, I'll probably switch over to doing them quarterly. So I'll do one in September and then one at the end of the new year. For the YouTube algorithm, please give this video a thumbs up if you are trying to get out of debt and raise your net worth. And until I see you on the next one, guys, stay positive, work really, really hard, always be kind to others. I hope you have yourself an amazing day and a better tomorrow.